Healthcare for the Talk 365 team is provided by Body Renew.
And good morning. Thanks for joining us on this beautiful summer morning. I'm Trip Mitchell, and that's Holly Love. You're watching Talk 365 TV right here on KJazz.
And we have a little wellness news you can use coming at you straight out of our first block with Trip telling us all about new knees. You're an expert in this whole wellness thing with shoulders and new knees. Do you have any tips before I dive into...
Yeah, I think the biggest tip is if you're in constant pain, really go see your doctor, and then they'll recommend you to a specialist. And you know, their job is to get you out there and feeling better. And it's not easy to get a joint replacement, but to be in pain, you have to take that and take a look at, if you're in pain doing things every day, how much is it worth to concentrate that pain for 3 or 4 weeks?
Right.
And then be done with it.
And then be done. Okay, well, let's jump in because I've found this documentary called Root Cause, and it came out early January of this year. And it's really interesting because it is talking about the procedure of root canals and the way they extract teeth, both your wisdom teeth or just pulling teeth in general, how they have found all of these studies that it's basically blocking in infection that gets into your jaw, and your jawbone is like a sponge, and so it just like seeps in there and becomes septic, and then it starts to go down to other sides. So there's a study, 98% of women who have breast cancer, they find had a root canal on the same side, 98%. And then they have infections that still live in there. And because you can live with it and not know, because it doesn't always hurt, it's just septic and dripping into your body. It's tied to prostate cancer. It's tied to all kinds of health conditions, anxiety, depression. Your mouth, we've done so much with Dr. Hatch and functional neurology and understanding how the eyes play such a big part with concussions and head injuries and how the brain is functioning. Your mouth is like connected to your lower brainstem as well. And so things that are, especially your wisdom teeth, is connected to your heart and to your brain. And so a lot of anxiety and depression is also tied to it. It was just a fascinating documentary. And the American Dental Society pulled it from Netflix, I think through lawsuit threats or whatever, which I think unless you're threatened, why would you do that? I was curious what you would think about that.
Well, maybe there's some misinformation in there.
So far, I've not been able to find anything because there are dentists, a number of dentists now that are practicing these more healthy root canal and extraction procedures. There are things that you need to know when you do get an extraction, like does your dentist pull the ligament? Because a lot of times they'll pull the tooth and they'll then seal it over and leave the ligament, which is like leaving a gangrene toe. Like you'd never do that. You got to pull it all so that the bone can heal perfectly. Or the way that they do, instead of doing a root canal with a typical rod in there, do one that has like a connection, like a bridge that is connected to the other teeth. It's not as secure. You might have to have it replaced, but you're not going to get some crazy toxic infection that you don't know is living there from having it. I'd rather have something replaced 10 years down the road than, deal with something that could be huge on your health. But all in all, this filmmaker who made the doc, it's a story about him. He has an actor, of course, playing him. It's really well done. It's about his 10-year journey that he is just struggling with all of these different things. And he did all the crazy guru stuff, did ayahuasca groups, all that kind of stuff. And then he basically found, through all of these different means trying to find wellness, he found dentists that were able to tell him this is what was happening. And, it wasn't immediately he found health, but you'll have to check it out. You can get it on Google Play, obviously not Netflix. You can get it on any of your online digital platforms. It's a really interesting documentary, especially if you're struggling with health. And you know what? If you're struggling with health, another person to look into right here locally is our own Dr. Rodgers. He is a functional MD, so that means he thinks alternatively, he thinks outside of the box, and he's going to tell you all about your thyroid. Check it out.
Talk 365's Wellness Minute is brought to you by Body Renew with wellness team expert Dr. Brian Rodgers.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rodgers from Body Renew. Are you having trouble with fatigue, weight gain, dry hair, dry skin, hair loss, menstrual irregularities if you're a woman, swelling, muscle aches, joint pain, constipation or depression, and then your doctor has told you that your thyroid is just fine? If you're experiencing any of these symptoms, give me a call at 801-677-0039 or catch me on the internet at bodyrenewhealth.com. And if you mention Talk 365, I'll give you a free consult to help us get started in figuring out what's going on.